everyone, it's Dasher Dave here and I'm back for another crafty video. So this time we're going to make this. So this is it's a customer record. It's my version of a customer record, and the inspiration came from, I used to work for the DWP, which is the Department of Work and Pensions, in the UK, so a government agency. And I used to work for the Job Centre, which was called JCP, Job Centre Plus. And I used to sign people on, and we had a signing on record that was very like this. But I have seen things like this used as customer order records. And I'm trying to recreate that whole antique look. So we're going to make something, we're going to make this. It might not be exactly the same, but I wanted to talk you through this and, what it's got in it. So I wanted to give it that kind of aged feel, so it's got an elastic band on it, but I've done it so that it looks like the elastic band has been there a long time and it's all faded around it. You know how I like that authenticity. We've got a little section at the back here which is for putting any evidence stuff. Well, it was in the Job Centre, it was evidence, and you listed people's failed to attends and that sort of thing on here. But this would be, we're going to put like people's this customer's receipts, etc. are on there. Then we've just got a little, like a letter that's maybe correspondence. We've just got a piece of card that, obviously you can put anything you like on it. And we've got this bit here which could be used in journaling. You can have all of these as journaling notes. And this is my version of a punch card. Okay, so it's not really come from a punch card because they're extremely expensive, but I've kind of recreated it, even right down to the fact that I've put my own, this is why my fingers are black, put my own metallic tape on there. So without further ado, let's get on with it and let's make this together, and you can see what I did and how we did it, and you can make one if you want to, or not if you don't want to. You might just want to watch me make it, that's fine. So there we go, let's make one of them. So where do we start? Well, what we do start, where we do start, sorry. We start, anybody know? At the very beginning. So we start with a piece of paper, okay. So let's just get my measurements out. So your piece of paper needs to measure, if you're going to make it exactly the same, you can make it any size you like, to be fair. But if you want to make it the same as me, it's 12 by 6 or 30.5 centimeters. That's 30.5 centimeters by 15.5 centimeters. Okay, so we're going to make it. Well, let's make it in inches because I really must get a cutter that does it in centimeters, because I really don't do inches really. So let's not use the cutter, Dave, because it's bigger than the actual. Sorry, this piece of paper is bigger than the sizes that we need. So I mean, you can I chose to not have these on last time, but I might have them on this time. I don't know. I might have them down that side if the paper is indeed long enough. So we're going to go for, no, it's not. So we're going to cut it this way round. So we will do it in centimeters this time because I work better in centimeters and I'm not reliant on a cutter that cuts in inches. Right, so we're going for 30.5. I'm just going to mark that there. I'm just going to mark it 3 times. I like to measure thrice, cut once. I'm just going to go down and measure. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut that bit off. Well, not with a pair of scissors, but with I was going to say with a pair of blades, but no. Bad enough with one. Don't get me started. Don't allow me to have more than one in my hand. A single blade is fine. That will suffice. So I'm just going to cut that down. Yeah. So obviously I keep all my off-cutty things, and then I want to have. What you're going to have is you're going to have one. You're going to score a line at 1.5 centimeters or half an inch. Once you've cut it, so cut it down. It's now it's now the right width this way. We're going to have to cut it down the other way, but I want to score my 1.5 centimetre bit this side first. I don't need a ruler. What am I doing? Well, where is the... Oh, it's there. Where is the thing? It is there. So I've got 1.5 centimetres, isn't it? Yeah. 1.5. Well, because we've got these holes, I'm going to go... Yeah, no, I'm going to go 1.5. Yep. Let's put that back, put that down there for a moment. Okay, so I've scored that now, and then I want to make sure, I want to get my width now, so it is 15.5. So right from the edge, not from the score line, 15.5. And then 15.5. 15.5. Well, that's what a surprise. Oh, sorry, I've just realised I've got money on screen. All my worldly goods. £4.50. Whoa. Don't do it with a pencil, Dave, if you want to cut it off. Really, I should have this on like a piece of elastic. You know, like children have gloves on their on pieces of elastic so you don't lose them. Although that would be potentially dangerous, wouldn't it? So I'm just going to cut a line there. Cut that bit off. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same again on this side. I'm going to score in on this side. I'm going to score in at 1.5 centimetres or half an inch. Okay, that's that. Okay, so then what we want to do is we want to just put those folds in. You know, they don't always go in the right place, but you know, hey, there's no right or wrong. Okay, and then you can just eye it, and that's really all I did before. I mean, like, you know, it might not turn out to be exactly the same. But I just folded a little bit of it over. So what you're doing is you're creating a pocket, but you've got an exposed area, and that way then it gives you that kind of authenticity of it being a customer record. So I'm just going to fold that over there, and again we're going to put a, well, we would if we knew where it was, Dave. A score line? Meh. Meh. There's my bone folder, that's what I was looking for. My proper bone folder. My Teflon one. So there we go. I don't think it's actually Teflon because Teflon doesn't exist, does it, anymore? They were accused of polluting everything. Well, accused. I think they were found guilty. I don't know about accused. And then all I'm going to do is going to mark where that comes to. Okay. I'm going to open it up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up to that mark, or that Peter, or that John, or that Mary. I'm not namist or sexist or anything, but I don't know why we call it a mark. Okay, and I'm just going to cut it straight for now. Trying to cut the end of it off. Oh well, I added a bit of authenticity catching that with the scissors. These Tim Holtz scissors are very sharp. One of the few things that I own of Tim Holtz that I actually use, because they are really good. And not the last time round, but one of the times before, when somebody bought me a coffee, I saved up my buy me a coffees for a pair of scissors. So, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut. So I'm going to leave this bit on. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this bit off now as well. So I'm just going to cut on that line again and on that fold. Okay, and then do the same on that side. Put that bit off. Okay, so what you're going to do is these bits are going to fold in, and this is going to stick to that bit there. Okay, so that fits nicely. If it overhangs a little, just snip this bit off and it's fine. And if these get in the way of your folding, then snip them off as well. Okay, so that's what we did there. Okay, so let's glue that bit down.
My glue bottle was making a funny noise then. Well, I think it was that. It could have been my tummy rumbling. I don't know. I have eaten though, so it's unusual for me. I don't normally eat. I mean, I do, obviously. I wouldn't be this size if I didn't eat, but I don't normally eat when I should eat. But I have tonight. I've been a good boy, and I ate before I did my video. I normally do the video and then go, oh, I haven't eaten. But this is the way. So it's later at night this time round because it's 10 o'clock. That's because I've eaten, had a bit of a relaxing evening, and then come and done this. So this is my it's. I'm just sorry. I've just realised my cutting is very wonky line there. This is Thursday evening. I'm going to just round these corners off. Well, I've snipped this one off, but I'm going to round the corners off. Well, there's not much to round off on there because I've cut it off. I'll do that one. I've got Hold On by Wilson Phillips on in my head. So if I suddenly randomly burst out singing, you know why. And then what I did was, I mean, like, this is completely up to you, but I had a backboard on it. So it's got a bit of grey board that's made, well, I've made it look dirty. It's got a bit of grey board on the back. And I'm going to do that again. Well, he says he will. Oh no, found it. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of line this up. Well, that's almost the same length. That's fine. I don't have to cut this any more than this. I'm just going to put a line. Oh, let's just do it with a blade, Dave. Let's just do it with a blade. Just, be careful. Don't cut off the bit. If you're going to do it like this, don't cut off the bit that you've just glued. Otherwise, it won't be glued down for very long. I'm going to cut it with a blade. So don't try and cut it in one go. I know I tell you this every time, but don't. It's better to go over it 15 times than to try and do it once and the blade snap and you stab yourself in the finger. So I don't want to be held responsible. Thank you. So that's going to sit on there. Okay, I do feel like I'm back at the job centre now. And I don't mind it overhanging a bit if you're worried about it. If you haven't cut it the right length, cut it to the right length. I'm not worried about it, so I'm going to leave it like that. And then what I did was, so I seem to remember that they used to have like an elastic. So these are treasury tags. This is what I know these as. That's what they're called on this box as well. These are treasury tags. Okay, so they're the metal style ones. You get them with the plastic things on the end. They used to have these with one. I believe they had one with a loop of elastic on it that and you'd have a hole here and it'd loop through, and then you'd wrap the elastic round. Well, I don't have that, so I've had to recreate my version of that. So what I did was I got my crocodile and I tried not to get my fingers stuck in the mechanism, because I'm quite capable of that, don't you? And then I kind of just stretched it. I mean, it's string, it's not going to stretch. But I kind of said, right, okay, I'm going to put a hole there somewhere, and then I'm going to put it to about there. But I'll put this hole in first. So put your first hole in as far in as you want to. So kind of want to give it a bit of an overhang so it's not too close to the edge. Like that. And then what I did was threaded that bit through there so it comes around the other side. And then I stretched this to as far as I could get this to go. Bearing in mind you've got to thread it through. Okay, so I'm going to put a hole about there. can't see. I was thinking, why can't I see the hole? Because the waste piece of paper is inside. There you go. That's why I couldn't see it, Dave. Kick fingers out the way of the crocodile, Dave, and then I'm going to stick that through there, and then it might just take a bit of a manipulation, a bit of jiggery pokery. There we go, got it through, and then that's going to hold that bit on, and that gives it that kind of, you know, it's not been stuck down, it's not properly attached, it's very officey. Okay, so you know, it's that rudimentary. We staple things with one staple, hoping it'll stay together for the rest of its life, and it rarely does. It just peels apart. So yeah, so that's what I did. But I'm going to take this out for a moment because I want to do the stamping on it. I'll come back to the stamping in a second. What we're going to do is let's make the card that's going to go in it. So I just used some file folder. I used. Do you remember that suspension file? You know the suspension files that I made last time, the German pendular ones? I just used a piece of that card. This time I'm going to use a piece of this file folder instead. So some of just the green stuff. And all I wanted to do was to make sure it fitted inside. So this is, I believe it's 5 inches wide. Yeah, it's 5 inches wide, which is 12.5 centimeters. So I'm gonna make this card. I'm gonna make this one 11 centimeters wide by. It's not going to go all the way in because this will stop it. This will stop it from going all the way in. So I'm going to make it 11 centimeters. Sorry, what did I just say? 11 centimeters. Yes, Dave. Back in the room by 20. I'm going to make it 11 by 20. Probably not a standard size for punch card machines. I don't actually know. I remember my mum used to use punch cards when she worked in an office, and that's about it. That's she used to bring. I know what the reason why I know is she used to bring them home for us to play with. I think they must have wasted loads, hundreds of thousands of things. If you try and buy them now, like literally they were thrown away once they were no longer of use. You couldn't put the holes, fill the holes back in. So, and the holes indicated to the machine, you know, important data. I think once they got used and they just got thrown away. So I remember she used to come home with them for us to colour in on, you know, like scrap paper basically. So I would kill to have those now because they're worth an absolute fortune. So because they were things that were thrown away, they were thrown away, and that's what makes it ephemera. So, and I think as crafters, I don't know whether you're the same, I think as crafters we kind of steer clear of computery type things when we make and create, because we think, oh, it's not going to be old. Well, let me tell you, apparently the punch card started in the 1870s, so for manufacturing, so for weaving, and then it was used in a digital sense as early as the 40s. So, you know, there's absolutely no excuse not to use them. So I don't know how long that is. It might need to be. I might have cut it too short or too long or whatever. Don't really mind. Don't really care. There is no right or wrong. Can't remember what I said anyway. What did I say? Don't know. Was Dave paying attention? No, Dave wasn't paying attention. Why would he be paying attention? That would imply that I listen to myself, and I clearly don't. So I'm just going to mark it. I'm going to say there. I'm going to cut it straight there. Right. I don't know why I suddenly started talking with a Yorkshire accent. Maybe it's because but I was talking about int mill, weaving and all that int mill. Okay, just cut that bit off. Shut up, Dave. So we're going to make this look like a computer punch card. So all I did was I snipped off the corners, because every punch card I've ever seen for some reason is it called a rhomboid? No, that's not Is it? I don't know. It might be a rhomboid. Don't quote me. They all seem to have this kind of snipped off bit. And then what I did was I got a piece of this. You can use anything you like. You could use washi tape or whatever. You could just use a black marker pen, or you don't even have to put this bit on. But if you want to create that look, what I did was I used a piece of this gummed tape. This is highly prized gum tape. Can't get any more. Not that width anyway. And I cut it in half, and then it gave me this. And then I made this black with black ink. So I'm going to do the same now. So this is where I pull back in one of those pieces of waste paper. It wasn't waste, was it? But like I said, did say I will use it, and I am using it, and I'll still use it after I've made it inky. So I'm just going to now I'm doing it this way because you'd be horrified if you saw how I did it before. So I'll tell you, I'm not ashamed, but I just didn't want you to be all going, oh my gosh. I've got a meeting as well tomorrow, so it's only with my boss, so only. What I did was I took the piece of tape and I held it down with my thumb and pulled it through like that, and that's why my fingers are particularly dirty. So covered in this. Stains on it, better not. It better come off. So just going over it with that, and I just thought it looked like created that look of magnetic tape. I mean, like, I know that they sometimes were dark brown, but I'm going for black. So and then kind of leave it for a minute because it's very wet, Dave. Don't try and interact with that, otherwise it'll go horribly wrong. So, and then what I did was I just stamped things on it. Okay, so on this one I didn't really need to stamp much because the lines and these markings were already there, but you don't have to use that, so because you don't have access to that, or you might not have access to that. So you could freehand write it, or you could draw it, or you could use a printer and print it, or whatever. Okay, Sarah, whatever will be. So let's get some lines going, Dave. Oh dear, get the stays on out again. Stays on hopefully comes off. I'm going to put that on there. I don't know where, maybe there. Good old corrugated card, it makes it look like lines. I'll have, so this is another thing, elastic bands across a stamping block. This is good for making lines. Doesn't always pick them all up, but to brush it on like you're stroking a cat. Preferably in the one direction. Don't stroke your cat backwards and forth. Well, your cat might like it. My cat never used to. So should give me that look like, do you want to die? Do you want to die? I'm going to put it that way actually. I'm going to put it up there. I'll give it a press. Try and get some contact. Eye to eye contact. Oh well, didn't really come out very well, but never mind. That's fine. Well, we can always do it again. No. Just gonna put more on. Who's a moron? Who are you calling a moron? Let's try and hang on a minute. Let me try and line one of these lines up. Oh well, it doesn't matter if it doesn't. Let's not bother, Dave. Let's just go for it. Let's just go whack, stick. This works better if you have elastic bands that are all the same thickness, unlike me. Well, that wasn't too bad, was it? There we go. There's that, and then we'll put a bit of writing-y, stampiness thing on it. Writiness, stampiness thing. Ba ba ba. Do. I don't know what that is. That looks like equations. Let's do it in a different colour. Stick that down. Yep, that's fine. That will do. And well, let's have a couple of letters on here. Let's do them in red, shall we? Not going to be able to tell it's red when you're... Well, you can tell it's red. I thought it was going to look not red on the... What's the opposite of red? Not red. Oh, never mind. Put some random letters on here. Which one did I not use? Is that one not used? No, that's a D. Must be that. So that says F on it. There we go. Got my initials in there. DMF. So we've got those, and let's put those out of the way. Move that out of the way. Otherwise, it all becomes a bit crowded round here. Otherwise. So we've got those. I'm going to give it another number. So let's peel this off and give it a different number. So it's not the same record. It's clearly, you can tell that it's not the same record. The last one was that one of samples. This one is a different one. And all I did was cheated. Used the cover from a stamp with a stamp block. I say cheated. I don't think anybody's monitoring this. I'm going to put this in red as well. Put this up here. There we go. We'll keep that for the rest of the file, so you can tell it belongs in the right file. We'll put, I think there's one here that says number on it, NO. I'll do that in black. NO. There we go. Cool. So that's that. We might stamp it with something, I don't know, file copy maybe. Because, you know, always like that touch of authenticity. Okay, and then all I did was I made holes in it. So, how do you make holes? Well, of course you can use your crocodile. So, and your crocodile, you know, as far as it reaches in, you can make some holes. So, oh, it's squeaky, isn't it? It needs oiling. I'm going to do one there. Then I'm going to shorten that distance. I'm going to put some more in here. One there. And then you could use a bradawl, or you can use your big bite. Let's get my big bite out. Whip out my big bite. I'm going to put a couple over here. Where's my hole going to go? There. I'll put one there. I'll put, I don't know, one. Doing random is not something that works particularly well in my brain, so I kind of have to. I feel like it has to be in a certain line or space, or being random does not come easy to me. Like words, they don't come easy to me either. There we go. That's that. So just some random holes in it. We've made it look like a punch card, and then I've taken this off. Now this still isn't quite dry. Now that's the thing with this stays on, is it does stay on, but it takes absolute age to dry. So I'm just going to wipe some of it off with a cloth. Now I will tell you what happened last time. I had to plead with myself, please don't lick it, 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 Dave, please don't lick it. I'm doing it again now because I was very tempted because it's gum tape to lick it, and I had to say, no, you don't want to look like a pug for the rest of the evening, or it might even be tomorrow as well. Stays on, it might stay on my tongue, it might not be, it might be poisonous, I don't know, but you know, don't lick it. So then I'm going to put this on the back here. Doesn't quite go to the end. Oh, it does. Ooh, lucky. Lucky. There we go. And then we're just going to cut the remainder off. And cut that bit off there. Not quite there, but we don't mind that. We're not being dead fussy. Right, so let's get this inked up and made to look gorgeously old. So this ink pad is drying up, so all I did was I used this just wiped all over the surface. I'll do the same on this. And then obviously around the edges. And I don't know whether you noticed on the other one, when I showed you the back of it, I had to go for an authentic, looks like it's been through the machine a few times, and I'm going to do that again. So all I did was I took a couple of different colours. So let's use, I don't know, let's use what's in this pile here. Brushed corduroy. Let's use brushed corduroy. So all I did was I just dragged it over there a few times. So you get that track line either side. You know when it's been through a, I don't know if anybody knows anything about these kind of machines, but they get put in a channel and it goes through. And I did the same with this as well. Give it that look of like it's had years of going through the same machine, because that is how my brain works. Well, I say it works, but it doesn't really work, it just is. So there we go, that's our new, let's put that back in there, that's the new one. Okay, so obviously you can put in your own stampy things, you can do what you like, actually it's yours. So let's maybe put that in this file, or we'll put something on, stamp something on that. I don't know what we'll stamp on yet. Let's get that trusty old stamp that we've used in the last few videos out. Let's get that down. Right, okay, I'm going to use some blue ink, make it look like it's been written. Do with some more stamps that make it recreate that kind of look of writing. Just stamp that on. There we go. That's that. Take that off there. I also stamped. I like to use stamps in my quirky little way. So this one says shipment to collect, but what I did was I only stamped half of the stamp. I only inked half of the stamp, so I'm going to do the same this time, but I did it in blue last time. I'm going to do it in red. So I didn't get that shipment to collect, but it just looked like somebody had authorized this, or there you go. So it's got like a stamp and some overwriting on it. Put that over there. I'd love to tell you that all those pieces of paper I put over there are all nice, but they're not. They're just kind of, sorry, all those stamps, but they're not. They're just random. Then we're going to get, oh, let's crinkle this one. I like paper, you know when it goes really limp after it's been crinkled a few times? I don't like my paper to look. Also, when I've crinkled paper, I like it to, that's the ideal opportunity to kind of not quite flatten it out and then get some nice inky dinky and just go over bits of it. Give it a bit of texture. Obviously you don't want to press down and squash the living daylights out of it, otherwise it won't look. It'll just have a line through it. Just making it look a bit old, like it's been found in the car park. Again, crease it up. Scrunchy scrunch. Undo it. Crunch it some more. Undo it. Crunch it some more. Sorry if you're not into ASMR crafting, then this particular episode is not for you because it's very noisy today. This episode. There we go. I'll just flatten that out. Might put a different colour over some of this now. I'm not afraid of adding. That's, you know, you might be a bit scared of doing stuff like this. Do what you feel comfortable with, but hopefully I'm going to give you the confidence to create things, to try new stuff and make different things. So I'm going to fold this up. Look at me trying to fold it nicely. Well, I don't know what the point is. I've just made it look aged. I'm going to fold it that way. Okay, might get a bit of this vintage photo around the edge. Because if the rest of it looks inky, then the edges are definitely going to have to look inky, aren't they? There we go. I like it as well because it kind of bulks out things, so you can have it in there and it'll bulk it out. Might not necessarily see it, but it adds that bit of interest. Might put it that way around actually. In fact, I'm going to stamp that with the same number so it looks like it's a unified record. Let's put that. Is that the same number? It is. Right way up, good. And then maybe on the same on here. Let's put that just on the edge like this. There we go. That's all going to go in the same thing. Let's put that behind and that in there. Right, so that's going to go in our file. But let's get our file back. What's there? Move that out of the way. Okay, so I want to stamp on this. So I just needed these to be out of the way, so I might just poke that back through there. I'm going to stamp some kind of a record or something on it. You know, some kind of thing on it. I'm going to put some kind of thing on it. So you're glad I turned up today with my ability to speak, not. Where's my stamp pad? Is there? Put this one on it. We'll do this in, let's do it in red. Let's do it the right way up, shall we? Yeah, go on then. Just for a change, Dave. Just for a change. Change is as good as a rest. Try and get it right for once in your life, Dave. Now you've broken the handle off the thing. There we go. That's that. I'll put some random numbers on. Randoms. Let's put, I don't know, let's put Document. Put this on. Let's make sure it's completely stamped. Document. There we go. Let's stamp it with something. I don't know, count overdue. Oh, let's do that in a minute. Let's get this. Let's get this. Let's get ready to rumble. What do we want on here? We want some numbers is what we were looking for, weren't we? We were. Well, you might not have been, but I definitely was. What are they? They're numbers. I don't know what they say, but they're some kind of numbers. So put that on there. Not going to stamp. I'm not going to ink the whole thing. Just going to ink the bits I want, which is this bit. I'm going to put that, I don't know, on there maybe. On there. I might put something else on as well. Keep putting the lid back on that thing and then kneading it again. Let's stamp it with something like number 3. Number 3. And where is that number? Where is it? Oh, it's not that. It's there. Let's just throw those apart, Dave. The thing is, when you get like these things from eBay, they're not, you know, they're people's old cast-offs, so they're never going to be perfect. So the lids don't fit on these stamps and that sort of thing. So, but I'm not worried. I'm going to stamp this with green this time. We'll put it up here. There we go. Marvellous. Brilliant. Okay, so, and then we're going to go count overdue. A bit of a random stamp, because that's what they always are, a bit random, those kind of stamps. Okay, so then we're going to reassemble it. So let's put some ephemera bits in the back. So this is a pile of ephemera. There's also a pile of other bits here that I could possibly put in. There's this. Oh, what else I did was, that's one of my little numbers. Don't lose that, Dave. I got my stabby thing, my instrument of torture, and I made a thing that looks like it's been, you know, it's had a perforation thing on it. So I made a perforation-y thing. So in order to do this, I need to have a soft surface in which to stab it. I shall use a folded up tea towel. Put that on there, because I want really defined punch lines. So I'm going to go like this all the way along the edge of this ruler. There, and then I'm also going to tear off the end. So how big do we want it? I want it to go to about there. So I'll use that line. Okay, and all I did was I then just tore it. Oh, that's torn it. Just tore it out, and then it looks like it's had some kind of, it's been part of another document, you know. So, and we'll ink it. I'll go for a full ink. So that, as in a full ink means that I'm not using a dauber to put this on with, I'm just applying it. There we go, that's that. We won't have the green this time because the rest of it's great. Oh, Dave, stop wiping your face with your mucky paws. to make this look a bit grubbier. This is a perfect like bit where you can put, you know, journaling and that sort of thing. It's just, I just like having things that I just add a bit of interest that other people aren't, you know, not everybody's doing, basically. Let's stamp it with this. I'll do that in green as well. So these are just separate letters that I just happen to have washi tape round so that they stay together and they stamp notes every time. There we go. Oh, don't put your finger in the... Oh, you did. I've got that. I've got that. So let's get some other thing. Oh, we want to make this dirty. So I'm just going to use this pad again. This is all I did last time. Just went over it with this. Great for any of your pads that are drying up. Just gives it that, like it's been on the same surface every day. Around the edges, obviously. And then we'll put some bits of ephemera. So these are actual genuine tickets. So I'm going to use one of them. Ooh. I'm going to ink it though, especially the bit where I ripped it, because that's definitely going to have got mucky over time. And then just go over the rest of it a little bit. This is LCW Motor Services, Llandudno in Wales, in Wales. It wouldn't be in any other kind of Wales, Dave, because it's Wales, isn't it? Let's tear the bottom of that off. I'll have that. We'll ink that up as well. Anything that's white, I'm going to have to get rid of. You know me, I can't leave it looking clean. Let's have that. Oh, let's make the edges inky. That on there and there. That might have a bit of writing on it. Okay. None of that says anything. If you're wondering what it says, it says nout. Well, it doesn't say nout even. So it says nothing. No, it doesn't say anything. Oh, shut up, Dave. Stop over-explaining things. So I'm just going to use my little stapler, the one that was thrown out from work, because it doesn't. You have to do that to get it to staple. So, big deal. And then the other thing that I did was I used this. Is actually a face massager. Okay, so there's no way I will put this across my face now. It's got ink all over it. But I used it to create that kind of like a dotted line effect. I actually put it on this as though it's been, you know, again, marked by machinery in some way. So we will do the same again. We'll do it in a different ink though. This time we'll make it darker red. All I did was I rolled it in that, and I just rolled it across there. There we go. So it's got some kind of a check mark on it. Let's do that again and put it on something else. Because I like all of these things, you know, all these random things that you get that you see around that gives texture on things. So let's put it on. I don't know. Let's put it on there. There we go. So we're gonna. These are the things that are going. These are a few of my favourite things. When the dog bites, when the... Oh, shh. 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 Dave. Shh. Hush. So I'm just going to ink some of this down. I mean, like, I did deliberately use some coffee dyed paper because I knew it was going to look better if it looked aged. Just want to add a bit of, no, it doesn't look like it's adding anything, but it is. I'm just going to add a bit of colour on the line, on the sides and ends. Not too much though. That's why I'm using tea dye on that bit. So let's assemble this. Put this back together. Somewhere in here. There we go. Sorry if my desk, my messy desk annoys you, then I'm so sorry, but you know, this is how I work, so this is where the magic happens. I'm going to put this through here. You might, like I say, you might have to give it a bit of a squeeze and a bend and a wiggle, and you know, we got it through last time, so there's absolutely no reason why it won't go through this time. There we go. That's fine. We need to get our elastic band. I do have some elastic bands here. Do I have any shorter ones? No, because I've literally only got. Oh, I've got one other one, which is a bit. Oh, that'll be the scoreboard then. It's perished. You can tell it's turned into more like spaghetti than it has. Look. So I don't think I'll be using that one. So I'm now going to put these. Assemble this. I'm going to put that behind. Let's put it together first. That behind. Maybe put that so you can see it. What should I do? No, let's put that there, that behind, and that, yeah, like there. So we go in like this. It's a nice full record, that one. And we're going to put this round it. Again, we might have to double it. Yeah, we will, because my elastic bands are just not up to the job. Or we could, shall we? Should we use a big? Yeah, let's use that one this time. So this is a bit. How excited can you get by by a big paperclip, Dave? Well, this excited. This is how excited you can get. So I'm just now going to go over it with a bit of ink. And it will pick up that. Keep the thing in the same place and it'll pick it up as though it's been there for a long time. Get over the stringy bit. Just lift that up so it doesn't. I don't get an inky line on that thing underneath. And then you can always just move your paper clip a little bit, maybe turn it round, put it the other way around this time, put that over and have that, so it has a different level of darkness, so you can still see where that one's been as well. So there we go. Perfect. That's just another little make. So remember, we started off with a piece of paper that was 12 by 6 inches, or 30.5 by 15.5 centimeters. And there we go. That's our little customer record thing to go with our other customer record. That's not quite so full, but there you go. And hopefully you will want to make something like this. Like I say, inspired by working for the government. Who knew the government would come in so much into my life. But yeah, and don't forget to use all of those things that you have for texture and colour, you know, these packing bits from. Stop throwing things in landfill and start keeping things. No, Dave, don't encourage people to keep things. Sorry, folks. Sorry if I've just encouraged you to keep more stuff. But keep it anyway. And there you go. Hopefully you like those. Hopefully that's something a bit different. Hopefully you'll give it a go. Hopefully if you do give it a go, you'll let me know that you've given it a go. And if you do give it a go and let me know and you've got a channel, hopefully you'll tag me. And hopefully if you think that this is something you like, you'll give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up anyway. You know, even if you didn't like it,
you know, I deserve at least that for coming up with some different things. And what I would like from you is, if you think somebody else might like it, share it. Let somebody else know. Let somebody else know if they're doing something utilitarian-y or something like that. Then share it with them. Maybe say to them, "Here, watch that, Dave. He's right good in. He's right good. He blows his own trumpet as well." Does he? What? On air? Shut up, Dave. And off you go. So that's it. My name's Dasher Dave. I hope you've enjoyed this. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like I say. And remember, I love you all without exception until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to. And I'll see you all in the next video. You all take care, folks. Love to you all. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.